sky.
Hello.
Hi, Kate.
Hi there, I'm here. We're live on the recording.
How's everything going?
It's going, the attendees are coming in now, so you might just want to give them a minute or two to come in and then start the recording, okay?
Okay, that's great. We are waiting for everyone to come into the Zoom.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
现在多久？
还要等一会儿。Hi everyone, welcome to our webinar. We're now waiting everyone to come into the room.
Pointing us the way ahead. We sculpture the smile into permanent beauty, believing the happiness will boost confidence. A precious diamond takes millions of years to form. A royal road needs to be followed by many people from being desolated. Each product of Besmile runs through day and night research, embedded in passion and concentration, sculpting the most attractive smiles in the world, grabbing every smile flashing by at every important moment.
对于贝斯美来说，我们在研发上不遗余力，投入了大量的利润。而对于品质的控制，我们有非常严苛的标准。每一件产品的出厂都会经过至少22道以上的工艺检测。我们希望每一件产品都是我们贝斯美的品质代言。
Keeping the ultimate pursuit for A-class zirconia, we insert smiles into every disc only for a lifetime commitment. Wherever we are and whatever we do, the goal of achieving diamond quality will not change, as well as the unbending contribution to the world.
我们所有的努力和付出，不仅仅是为了让贝斯美成为一流的口腔材料供应商，更是为了让更多的患者享受最优质的产品。
Ongoing, optimizing, and upgrading, together with friendly environments, prudent scientific attitudes, and cutting-edge technologies, we face challenges with vision and direction. Cold technology turns into warm smiles. We bring smiles to you, allowing you to smile at the world.
Hello everyone, this is Ian from the technical department of Besmile, and welcome to our webinar. And first, I'd like to say I feel so pleased to be here to launch our newly upgraded SHTML 3D multilayer, which features all-in-one and one-for-all. Today's webinar will last for about 30 minutes, and during my presentation, if you have any question, you can put it into the Q&A box. And after my presentation, I will leave 5 to 10 minutes to answer these questions. Okay, then let's get into the topic. And before we start, I'd like to do a brief introduction about our company. Our company's name is Besmile Biotechnology, founded in 2013. We are mainly focusing on the R&D, manufacturing, marketing, and sales of dental zirconia blanks, dyeing solutions, milling machines, and CAD/CAM systems. In short words, it means we want to provide the whole digital CAD/CAM solution. And these are our CAD/CAM equipment, including the 4-axis or 5-axis milling machine, dry or wet milling machine, and fast or standard zirconia sintering furnace. And by the way, all the equipment are developed by our R&D teams. They have a very high stability and high quality, which can increase your efficiency a lot. And on the other side, we also provide the CAD/CAM materials, such as the Aconia blanks. Aconia. Aconia is the brand of our zirconia blanks. And in Aconia family, we provide multi-layer, pre-shaded, and white blanks with different translucency and different strengths to meet all your different needs. And we also provide Wangs, PMMA, and milling burrs. And in domestic market, we already launched our glass ceramics, stain and glaze need. And for overseas market, they are in registration stage now. But I believe we will start to sell them in the near future. And for Aconia white blanks, we also provide our own coloring liquid. And in the 80 years after founded, we have made a great achievement. Our products have obtained 81 patents, 40 registered trademarks, and they are sold in more than 60 countries and regions. And now we have more than 10,000 end users around the world. Okay, although we have made such a great achievement, there's still a problem. That is, we know there are many brands and many types of zirconia blanks on the market, and technicians need to choose a suitable one for the different indications. So maybe it will be a little bit complicated, and even sometimes will be confusing if the technicians is not familiar with the product. So as a professional zirconia manufacturer, we've been thinking if there is any possibility to provide one disc to meet all the needs. And if so, the work will be easier, and also it can release your inventory. So after 1 year of exploration, on the basis of our old SHTML, our R&D team made a manufacturing upgrade, and then we have our newly upgraded SHTML, which could really count all-in-one and one for all. In short words, it means only one blank covers all your needs. Okay, and next I will introduce our new Aconia family member from 3 aspects. The first is the premier aesthetic from our unique multi-layer technology. And the second part is the high stability from some important parameters. And the last part is the wide selections, which makes our SHTML more friendly to technicians. Okay, first we'll move to the premier aesthetic, because we know now people have higher and higher requirement for aesthetics. So in this part, I will share how we can reach this premier aesthetic. And we know when we use traditional multi-layer, they may have 4 layers or 5 layers, and some brands even have 6 layers in one blank. And logically, if the layers is more, the color difference between 2 layers will be smaller. So the gradient will be better. So maybe many people will think the more the layers, the better the product. But in fact, it is not like that, because with the increasing of layers, the manufacturing process will be much more complicated, and also the product will be more unstable. So to avoid this problem and to get a real seamless gradient for our newly upgraded SHTML, we adopt the unique layer blending technology. And actually it's a complicated technology, but in short words, it means we mix the powder of 2 layers for the border area. So it changes the boundary from a line to a section of area. And by this way, the transition could be more natural and we can really achieve the seamless gradient. So, and we made some samples from Aconia SHTML and the traditional multi-layer. And we can see for the traditional multi-layer, there will be a boundary between the different layers. And on the restorations, the boundary will be more obvious. But for our Aconia SHTML, because of the unique layer blending technology, it can the gradient is so natural and the restoration is very lifelike. And of course, to get a lifelike restoration, only the gradient chroma is not enough. So at the same time with the layer blending technology, we also adopt the 3D multilayer technology. It means our blank is gradient from 3 dimensions. Not only the gradient chroma, but also the gradient translucency and gradient flexural strength. From incisal to cervical, the translucency is gradient from 46% to 43%, and the flexural strength is gradient from 900 to 1100. So with the 3D multilayer technology, the restoration could be more natural and lifelike. Okay, after the first part about the premier aesthetics, and we know the stability for a material also is very important. So in the second part, I will share the high stability of SHTML from some important technical parameters. And we compared our SHTML with other 5 popular multilayers on the market. And the first parameter is the cervical strength. We made the same samples from the same height of the blank, and we do the same test, and this is the result. And we can see among all the samples, our newly upgraded SHTML has the highest cervical strength. So with the high cervical strength, it can ensure the whole strength of the restoration. And as a result, it can ensure the long service life of the restoration. And at the same time, we also test the fracture toughness of incisal part and dentin part. And we can see no matter for the incisal part or cervical part, our SHTML has an obvious higher fracture toughness than other 5 brands. So with the higher fracture toughness, the restoration can have a higher ability to resist the micro crank, and also it can ensure the service life of the restoration. So it proves our SHTML has a higher stability. And we know for zirconia, it has 3 different crystal phases and different temperature. And when it is at room temperature and under 1170, the structure is monoclinic, and between 1170 and 2370, the structure is tetragonal. And above 2370 and up to melting point, it is cubic. But for dental zirconia, because of the stabilizing oxide, such as yttrium oxide, so the tetragonal and cubic phases can remain at room temperature. And usually the tetragonal phases offer strength and the cubic offers translucency. And monoclinic is undesired for dental zirconia. So we can test the content of monoclinic phases on surface after accelerated aging to check the stability of one zirconia blanks. And so we did a test on this, and this is the result. And we can see, like most brands has a very high stability, because we can see after accelerated aging, the content of monoclinic phase on surface is very low, and also include our newly upgraded SHTML. And for brand 5, it has a very high value, so which shows it has a band stability. And there are 2 same images of the boundary area. And the left one is the traditional multilayer disk. And from the microstructure, we can see there is a boundary between the big particles and the small particles. So we may know for this blank, during sintering, it may get an uneven deformation. But for our SHTML, we can see because of the layer blending technology, it has a very homogeneous particle size distribution. So we can know it can ensure the uniform deformation during sintering, and also it can ensure the stable properties of this blank. Okay, after the premier aesthetics and the high stability, then we come to the last part, the wide selections, which could make our SHTML more friendly to technicians. The first is the wide selection about shades. And we know if you have ever used some multilayer, you may know for some multilayer manufacturers, they only provide several common used shades like A1, A2, A3, or B1, B2. But for our newly upgraded SHTML, we provide all the Vita 16 shades and plus 3 bleached colors. And at the same time, we provide our own SHTML shade guide, so we can get a more accurate result. And the second is the wide selection about indications. Because of the high fracture toughness, the high flexural strength, with our SHTML, we can use it for all the indications. From some small restorations like inlay or onlay, partial crown, veneer, single crown, and then we also can use it for some complicated restorations like long bridges up to 14 units. And because of the high translucency of SHTML, and that's it from 46 to 43%, so we can also use it to make anterior full contour restoration. And when we use traditional multilayer for long bridges, we may find it has a bad fit. This is because the uneven particle size distribution, as I showed in the same images, it will get an uneven deformation during centering. So after centering, we will find the restoration has a bad fit. And how about for newly upgraded SHTML? So we did a test we did a shrinkage test. We made some samples from the different height of the blank, and we measure the length before centering and after centering, and then calculate the expand ratio. And this is the result. Maybe in this chart, we can not directly identify the difference. So we convert it to this picture. And in this picture, we can see for our SHTML, it has a very smooth line between the different layers, which shows the whole blank has a very uniform shrinkage. And we can know during centering, the whole blank will get a uniform deformation. And how about the real situations? So we made mailing full arc from our SHTML to check the fit. And after the standard operations, all of the full arc has a very good fit. So it is consistent with the shrinkage test. And for different mini machines, we provide 4 common used shapes. And the thickness of our blank is ranging from 14 to 25 millimeters. Okay, and the last, let's watch a video to make a summary about our newly upgraded SHTML. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's all for today's presentation, and next we will move to the Q&A part. Let's see and if you have any question, you can put it into the Q&A box, and then next we'll see. Okay, I see there is a question about this. Can we do speed or fast centering with your SHTML for multi-unit bridge? As you said, the shrinkage is uniform. Well, if you want to, I see there's somebody who would like to answer a question. Okay. Okay. And if you want to, actually, we do not recommend use our SHTML for multi-unit bridge, because we know the conductivity, how to say, the conductive of thermal of the cornea is very low. So if we make long bridges and we do fast centering, the heating time is not enough, and the deformation or transformation for the crystal physics is not enough. So maybe for multi-unit bridges, if we use, maybe when we want to make multi-unit bridges and we use SHTML for with fast centering, it still can has an uneven deformation. So we do not recommend this. Okay. So if you still have any question, you can talk where. Okay. If there is no other questions, we will end this webinar. And after this webinar, if you still have any further questions, or you want to know more information about our SHTML, you can email us or visit our website and leave a message, and we will answer you as soon as possible. Okay, and that's the end of today's presentation, and thank you again for your watching, and bye.